posing myself the question, which of my Nancy Drew computer games is the best embodiment of the kind of the concept stay, and not just like the overarching stay, but a subcategory of that, of kind of the immediate stay. And so growing up, I, Tanis Coralee Leonhardi, she, her, hers of Seattle, played a bunch of Nancy Drew computer games. There's currently, I think, 34, and I've played like 20 plus. And so this is one from my own personal collection. I still have. It was initially released in 2006. It's Nancy Drew, The Creature of Kapu Cave, and it is set on Hawaii. And this is one where as soon as I pressed play, you know, there's like an intro to the game and getting started and stuff like that. And I was hooked like that. It was like, it was the game where I was like, I stay through this game because this is so cool. And it was one where each of the puzzles, each of the settings, it just was so cool. And so I stayed. And there's different ways a person can stay. Sometimes it takes a little bit to settle. This was an immediate settle. And my first plane flight in life, back when I was like 3 years of age, was Seattle to Honolulu. And so I got this game, and it's set, there's like cool stuff with pea pods. There's like bug stuff, there's a pineapple place, there's like fixing something, there's collecting shells, there's going fishing and fishing for a lua, which were in different types of fish. And there was like one fish that I thought was really pretty, and I was like, oh, and it was called the lua. And I actually lived in Hawaii and attended University of Hawaii, and one of my friends, Shun, I went and spent Thanksgiving with him and his family, and part of his family, in 2013, and Ulua was in his backstory, and I was like, I know what that is from. This Nancy Drew computer game, and it actually matters to somebody who grew up on Hawaii. So it was very cool. It was like, I got that from a Nancy Drew computer game. So real life, you know, crossover. And I think when it came out, I actually might have spoken to this one. So my female Minnesota cousin Sean, who I named Squirrel Sean Jr. after, back on this year, was 30 April 2025, earlier this year. I think I might have told my Minnesota cousin Sean about this one. So in addition to having my mom, inviting my mom to play with me, the Ghost Dogs of Moonlight guy, I told Sean about this one. And I remember settling so much, I was like, I would be okay with going to school in Hawaii, like for college. And I ended up graduating from the University of Hawaii at Manoa in 2015, August 2015, with a Bachelor of Science in Geology and Geophysics and a minor in Mathematics. So if you want to talk about a computer game having a big impact on a person's life, this one certainly was that. And so it was a sacred Saturday staple, primarily in the 2000s decade and the 2010s decade. Nancy Drew, The Creature of Kapu Cave, 2006 game. This tradition, the Sacred Saturday, is one I started as a preteen and continue on as I am able. It is a Saturday I dedicate to balanced eating and concentrated / ritualized computer game playing. And this is one that, you know, it still feels so much like home. So you take in like my laptop computer, and like I give it to, say, you know, I'm like, all right, I'm with my Kyle, and he decides he wants to play, you know, and so he has my computer, my laptop computer, my laptop, whatever it is, and he's playing my copy of the game. And you know, he's sitting and he's playing the game, you know, and I'm like sitting on the floor, and he looks up at me and he goes, "What?" And I've made a little card, a flip-up card, in the shape of a lizard, and on the top it says Kyle. On the inside it says, "Will you marry me?" So Kyle, will you marry me? And I propose while he's playing Nancy Drew, The Creature of Kapu Cave. In lizard form, right? The lizard delivers the message. I thought that was pretty cool. But I was like, there's a marriage proposal. We both love lizards. And my Kyle calls Adelaide and Oceania home, and Hawaii's in the Pacific Ocean as well as Australia. Well, Australia borders with the Pacific and the Indian Ocean. The point being, life-changing. Or how about that might not be quite right, because Hawaii was already in my life in some form, and even the University of Hawaii at Manoa was. So maybe the correct word is life formative, right? It affected going forwards, kind of my decision making. So there we go. It's a Sacred Saturday computer game staple. Nancy Drew, The Creature of Kapu Cave, 2006 game.